Hi there and welcome to Bustthenet. Yes, today the show is going to be slightly different. I started this season in the championship off in a very different way. I've been talking about the evolution of my 4312. So I've been talking about how I've made this system our own. Now, the last show we had a match against Sheffield Wednesday where we played 2-2. Now, this stretch here I drew against Sheffield Wednesday, drew against Blackburn, and drew against Brentford made me a bit concerned because this match against Brentford um, was terrible. I gave away four clear cut chances to Brentford and I created only one. So I was using my version 6 of my tactic, which is rather attacking, which got lots of overlaps, nice, wonderful things. But here, let's just remember one thing. I've just done a video, a tactical guide, that talks about movement. Sometimes I can be really you know it's like if somebody tells you not to play with fire, I just I'm the kind of guy that just sticks my entire head into a burning inferno. Okay, so I just want to do stupid stuff. So I've been playing this game, and I've created a tactic which should rightly be used by a very good team. But here I am going. Yes, I want to push my fullbacks even higher up the pitch. But remember, it's good to do those videos. You know why? Because when you do those videos, you turn around and you ask yourself this question. And you go like, right, you got these channels. You want to be very careful with your channels because if you find that you're playing against a team which is using advanced forwards or using some of the more creative roles that can run into channels, that can drag your central defenders apart and leave you vulnerable. My earlier tactics were all using overlaps. Now, for years I've been telling people be very careful with the use of the overlap shout because the overlap team instruction is going to increase the mentality of your wide players. Your central midfielders' mentality will be lowered, the forward runs will be affected. And what this actually does is it creates a really big channel between the fullback and the nearest central defender. And if you end up playing against like teams playing a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, what they if they attack you and they get into those channels, you're gonna be dragged apart. And this is exactly what happened against Brentford. I was like ripped asunder, and I was actually lucky to I was again I got this false dawn. I'm leading by 2-1, happy like hell, and then they score and I'm thinking to myself, then when I looked at the stats and I started analyzing the game, and I looked at it and I went like, I'm in a world of hurt. Okay, so I had to step out of this. We beat Bristol City 4-2. Now Bristol City beating them 4-2 was like another false dawn. I got a hat trick through Daniel Smythe. We played version 6, still the aggressive hurricane system. Now I'm calling it hurricane. It's a very aggressive, overlapping, attacking system, and I was tap, pat, tapping, patting myself on the back, saying, "You done well, you done, a bloody idiot. I've beaten them before. This is a false dawn." Because even against Bristol City, we made clear cut chances. Wasn't good enough. Then we played West Ham. Yeah, I decided to try something different, thinking, maybe I'll try this system out, see what it does. Okay, we didn't do too badly, but look at my numbers. So it was like, okay, fine, we lost. Got a chance to give others a chance to play. Against QPR, I decided to take a break, play a 4-5-1. This really did well. It's going to be an upcoming system that I'm going to be using, but this is the match where I finally decided, let's finish off the 4-3-1-2 because I've just done the video and now I can think. So I went into this match. Thing is, we started using we were playing like this originally, right? So we had a fullback on attack, and we had a pressing forward on support. So we start pressing forward on support. So this was the tactic that we started out with. Um, and it wasn't very good because I was also doing this, this, and this, and this, and this. Okay, so this was the system that we used. Oh yeah, on top of that, I was doing this, which is a lot of really stupid things. Okay, so but we're not that good. We're not a team that can play like this. Because if I had very fast fullbacks with good natural fitness, very strong central defenders, yes, definitely the way to go. Because you'll keep teams, you dominate possession and stuff. But this match forced me to change things around. So here we got Barnsley. And what we're gonna do on today's show is slightly different, right? So what I'm gonna say is, I need to show this. This is how we started, right? But this is how we reacted because something happened in the game, and I had to switch straight away. So essentially what I create, I'll explain this tactic first. Um, I realized during the course of the game, certain things were happening. It was the first goal, and that was the moment I realized, okay, my channels are being ripped apart. Okay, there's nothing. If I don't do something, I'm going to lose the game. So the first thing I did was I removed all the overlap shots. I told myself not to play. I told myself not to play our defense. I went from a short passing to higher tempo. I went pass into space, removed all the shots because if you want to counter attack, you don't use play out of defense. I started using hit early crosses. Be more expressive is not too bad. An instruction for a really shitty team sometimes because you're telling them to think out of the box. The other thing that I did here was this. I wanted to play a counter-attacking game, but I wanted to be further away from goal. So I remove. I wanted my players to, when we have the ball, I want them to be slightly further up. But I also want them to drop. I wanted to create this. This is like this is not a very shallow one. This is the ideal one that I wanted, but I wanted to press them high up the pitch. In fact, I changed my line of engagement to standard, so that the distances between my midfield and my defense will not be that bad. So poacher on attack. I use this because why? I asked him to stay wider, close down more, and then I told this guy to close down more. This guy doesn't have move into channels, so he'll start from a wider position. This guy's got move into channels, he'll attack the channels. But this will create a nice little pair between them. AM on support is get further forward, roam from position, and close down more. The Mazzala was told to close down more. This guy was told to close down more. And then the fullback on support take Fiore's dribble less and mark tighter. This guy was told to take Fiore's dribble less, narrow and mark tighter. So we had to react to something in the game, and I'll explain what that was by going through the highlights. Barnsley was playing a 4-2-3-1. We started with the more we originally started with what I now call my control aggression tactic, which is very aggressive. What I failed to realize early in the game was the fact that they had 1, 2, 3, 4 attack duties. It took me quite a while to spot it, and I was pretty slow to react. But the thing is, I was using overlap instructions. When you use overlap instructions, these guys are all gonna have a happy time because all the channels will be empty. We did create 1 or 2 half decent chances coming through, like we had one clear cut chance from a set piece, but it wasn't really something that I was gonna go jump and go like, wow, that's a fantastic set piece. I had failed to notice things like how they would be exploring my half channels. These were all like small little signs that I failed to pick up. They were extremely attacking. They would get into our box, and I was still playing on my higher mentality with those overlap shots. Corner routines, we were pretty solid. We did pretty well defending all these corner routines. But as you can see, right, even when I wanted to work the ball out of my own box, it would come back to my keeper, and my keeper had to launch one hopeful ball that couldn't be reached by the fullback who was on an overlap instruction. Man who gives people advice, don't use overlap, be careful with how you use overlap, think about how you use the overlap. No, I wasn't even paying attention to my own advice. Thank God I got my corner routines right. Because the boys were pretty good at closing down shots from in and around the box. Here again, you can see we played to the ball playing defender again. It's a long kick up, and we can't even win the second ball. So this high press, this extremely attacking 4-2-3-1 was making a lot of inroads. But 20 minutes in, still there is no reaction from me. We managed to survive one bullet corner. Come the 31st minute, and I'm looking at the situation, still not paying very much attention. Look at how they come in. They're ready to launch into my spaces. There's one player here already between the half spaces. There's so much space here for them to explore. We've got this guy is not helping out defensively. There's a huge gap between my attackers and my midfield. They managed to work the ball in, and there we go. All these players inside the box, all waiting to be phenomenal targets, and they get their first goal. At this point in time, I realized I was playing against 4 attack duties. So we had to make a quick reaction, and I was pretty annoyed with myself because I had failed to see this. So many players running through the channels because I've got my players. I mean, defensively we were not set up correctly. We had a very high mentality, so I had to change the way we played. Uh, Change things like immediately overlaps have been removed. So my tactic got swapped. I changed my tactic straight away, and I stopped using the overlap instruction, and we were able to now get some control of the game. We dropped into a cautious mentality. The lower mentality and the shallower shape allowed our players to make it a lot more harder for them to easily track into our box. And we were also able now to get across the pitch and launch some decent counter attacks because finally we can keep the ball. The goal here was to make myself a bit more shallower, right, defensively. Secondly, I wanted to play on a lower mentality. So instead of just shooting the ball up quickly and hoping for the best, we did was measure our passes, make sure that we at least get the pass to the next player. In order for me to do that, we had to remove the overlap shot so that my fullbacks become available for the pass. The fullback on the right was told to sit narrower so that at least now he will look at the midfielders when he wants to pass the ball. The advanced midfielder was dropped from an attack duty to a support duty, and with the poacher and advanced forward further up in front, we had some options going forward. Here the Shepherd got into a nice position and he was able to deliver the cross, and my Mazzala finally comes into the box unmarked to score the goal. By playing on a cautious mentality, now my players, our defensive line is also influenced by our mentality. So this time around, okay, you can see the whole gaps. There are not so many gaps anymore. So the boys were able to hold their shape, and it made it harder for players like Ball now to find his players. So Ball would have to play the ball over the top, and we can actually do something by we cannot defend these kind of balls a lot more easily. So cautious mentality was actually the first thing that I was really glad to change my mentality. It made us defensively a lot more solid. Second half, and I noticed this number 8 stopped being on attack duty, so I saw one attack duty was removed. I think this was also changed to a support duty, because we didn't see those kind of runs as aggressively as I did in the first the first 20 to first 30 minutes. Being on a cautious mentality without overlaps also did us another favor. Okay, in this match I was actually playing with Teddy Blow. He's not supposed to be it's Matty Foles who's normally my fullback, and he had some food poisoning, so he couldn't play. So I was actually playing a right back in the left back position. So probably what I did was the right thing by playing a lot more safer. Fullback on support. This guy sitting narrow. This guy, told to take risky passes, play a bit more tighter, and it helped us because defensively now lower mentality it will work with the defensive line, and we were able to break down the attacks. And more importantly, when we try to attack and we lose the ball, we don't counter press immediately, we regroup, because the priority here was not to lose our shape. So it was time for me to come up with a system that made some sense, because we are the underdogs. We're not like the best team in the land, so can we just play like an underdog for a change? Having the advanced forward and the poacher up top was probably the way to go, because we are playing a more counter-attacking style, and I actually like the combination of an AF and a poacher, because a poacher gives me the option to stay wider, or he can also move into channels, or I can remove that instruction. The AF we know is always going to move into channels, so we actually can have these deep counter attacks. And one ball from the goalkeeper, Smythe was off, and unfortunately he missed a golden chance. Defensively, I was very happy with our shape whenever we wanted to defend. The narrow banks of 4 was what I was trying to achieve, so that it makes it harder for the 4-2-3-1 to find and score. We did manage to get the winner off a corner. We had like four clear-cut chances in this match, and I was very happy. We could have beaten Barnsley by a bigger margin, and Barnsley was the team that we weren't expected to beat. In fact, and I was just happy that the final result was 2-1. We had to defend, but our defensive shape throughout the game was pretty good. So at the end of the day, important thing here to take away is the fact that if you we have finally come up with two versions of our 4-3-1-2. The first version is when I get really good players, and the second version is what I can use right now going forward. I can use a cautious mentality, but I also have a plan B now. If I wanted to go attacking, I actually know what I can do with my system. So my 4-3-1-2 is finally evolved. I've got what I call Hurricane, which is my normal Harakiri system, which I don't recommend unless you enjoy pain. This is a very direct system. It's just end-to-end football action. So I love this kind of football because it's just crazy. It gives me asthma. I know my wife probably doesn't like this, but if I told her my asthma attacks come because I play something like this, then she's probably going to remove the computers in the house. So we got this. I call this the Harakiri system. So essentially, it's still the same. There's very little that's changed. In this system, I actually have a lower line of engagement. In fact, I changed this one as well. The third system, the second version of the 4-3-1-2 defensive actually has got a lower line of engagement as well. And this is meant to make sure that we are cramped. And then he plays with the high defensive width because I want to shut down the flanks as quickly as I can. Because you got four guys here coming back to defend. How many more do you want? This is going to make it congested enough. The prevent shot goalkeeper distribution only works really when the opposition have the ball. But what I do is I actually have close down more on these guys, so they have got a lot of work to do. So they also have tight marking on the back line. So I do all that just in an effort to make sure that I do everything I can to push them further up. I don't want them so close to my goal. I want an outlet. I want those long balls to be coming from the back. And we have here Burn. Sorry, this is usually Raglan's position, right? So Raglan is the one playing here. But I'm going to change this around. I'm going to move. I'm going to turn this into a ball playing defender and this into a central defender. Why? Because if Raglan, the whole idea here is if Raglan plays here, he has to be the ball playing defender since all he wants to do in his entire life is try this long range passes. So he's gonna hoof the ball up. Up top we got Poacher on attack, and we've got advanced forward. We got AM on support who is roaming from position and closing down more. Then we've got a Mazzala who's been told to close down more. We got this guy closing down more. We got this guy taking furious triple S narrow mark tighter, and this is the final tactic. I have yet to come up with a name for this. I'll have to think of a name for this tactic. So this is the more defensive variant. So the logic is very simple in this defensive variant. Use the flanks. Hit the ball into space. Right? So that's it. Okay, we got space because people are bound to be. And the only reason I'm using these people on attack the living daylights out of me. Be direct. There's no point playing short because what are you trying to do? Hit the ball to a player or into space. That works very nicely to pass into space. Tempo, for heaven's sakes, there's no point playing slow. I'm not trying to pass the ball so slowly that they're back defending. So get the tempo up. Early crosses is a fantastic, phenomenal instruction for counter-attacking football. Whip crosses, really, because I don't have top players, whip crosses are very hard to defend. So, and yes, sometimes mix is good, but if you have those kind of players in front that you like one guy can be a target man, then mix is not a bad idea. Be more expressive because we really are not a very intelligent team. So thinking out of the box, encouraging them to think out of the box is probably a better idea. Take short kicks, counter, regroup. Now, take short kicks may not necessarily be ideal. You could distribute quickly, it would be a better move. But this might change, but this will never change. Regroup and counter. This is more counter-attacking in orientation because the moment you win the ball, when you lose the ball, right? So if you're attacking and you lose the ball, if it doesn't make any sense if I counter press because then my shape is all distorted. But if when I lose the ball, the priority is to regroup, means hold your shape, get back into position first. Don't think about getting the ball, don't try and win the ball back. You're not good enough to do that, so why the hell bother? Just put bodies in front of the better players, so they have to be forced to play around you. And then when you win the possession and they're in the attack counter, that's when you want to counter, because we've got these two guys up top waiting for the counter attack. Defending, why this is the use offside trap, because I want to squish the play. And if I don't know if you noticed this, but I had corner routines that didn't have guys on the post. I'm also using the offside trap for that. Prevent short goalkeeper distribution. Well, this is, I don't know, maybe this is leftover from my other system. Ideally, don't really need it, because this, if you want to make a counter attacking system, I think I'm going to remove it. Yeah, remove it. Yeah, prevent short goal distribution is not really necessary, but hell, I want to use it because I still want to have fun. Okay, yeah. So this is the tactical style doesn't make any sense, so I should rename this tactical style to something else, because this is not 4-3-1 control aggression. This is save this as the 4-3-1-2 defensive coward. Okay, so the 4-3-1-2 defensive coward and the 4-3-1-2 hurricane. So this is the hurricane system, which is going to be pass into space, overlap, play out a defense, hit early crosses, more direct, much higher. And then this system is more attacking in orientation for these bunch of players. And sorry, for these duties that I have on the pitch. So I hope you enjoyed this little journey that I embarked on. We started out intending to finalize my 4-3-1-2. So I finalized my 4-3-1-2 for the season. So now I know exactly what I want to do with my 4-3-1-2. When I'm attacking, when I'm playing against a team that's going to kick my ass, I know what I want to do. If I'm playing against a team, I can kick their ass. If I know I can beat the crap out of them, which there aren't a lot of teams I can do that. There are very few teams I can do that with. Then I have Hurricane. So I can modify Hurricane as well, slightly here and there. I can remove an overlap shot here. I can remove an overlap shot there. I can do stuff like that just to make it a bit more defensively solid. And meanwhile, probably I'm going to start working on the... I don't know if this has already evolved, right? I was very sure about this tactic, going into that game. And we played this against QPR. And QPR was completely devastated. And I played it against Peterborough as well. And Peterborough we played really well against QPR in this match. I hit them for a few... MIC, I want to call them mice goals now. This is totally taking advantage of the move into channels. So we did that against QPR, and I'm happy with it. Although I don't want to go through the highlights because the colors look horrible. So I hope you enjoyed this edition, this journey in the 4-3-1, and I really hope it helped, because I've been thinking about a way to do the show differently so that it appeals to some people who want more help tactically. So this is how I evolve the tactic. So ultimately, it's all about, and there's a part of me that says maybe I'm pushing the envelope too much with my 4-3-1-2, because I have a fundamental problem with my 4-3-1-2. Bravery is a very scarce commodity in my team. Most of my players have low bravery. So this guy Kasumu has got low bravery. And a lot of my players, I can't play them because either they have low bravery or they're just not smart enough to know. They can't handle the pressure, so this guy's got low composure, right? And I've got another play here. Where we go. Tom Bayliss is unfair. This game I had to keep some of my players off. I couldn't even play my best players because they were all tired. The schedule was just crazy during this week, which forced me into a rotation, changed my system because there were just too many games. We survived this entire period without any injuries. And yeah, maybe I'll just cover that as well. Our training during the week was interesting because I kept giving a lot of rest, and I kept doing low intensity kind of trainings, like attacking wings, attacking corners. This is a disaster. I didn't do anything, but at least it was good enough. There was a lot of rest period here. Then we came into this with a bit more rest. So I actually went to the Barnsley match without training very much, only attacking direct and transition press. That's it. So we did okay. So if you have any questions, please look me up on Twitter at Bustthenet or addicted2fm.com, my website. I hope today's show really helped you out. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me. You guys take care, have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.